Hello everybody, it's Wendy, and today we are going to make a really cool leather tassel metal necklace using some products from my own stash and Sam's bead box. First of all, our encouraging word for today is victory belongs to the most persevering, and that is by Napoleon Bonaparte. And that's a no-brainer, don't you think? I do. Alright, so Sam's bead box. It had these beautiful beads this month. These are like a beautiful just lamp worked or Murano glass they look like to me. I don't know, they're so pretty. I think they're check glass, but they're just so pretty. So many colors in there, and I really wanted to use them all together in some really colorful necklace, just not with a lot of different beads. I just want to showcase these, but I wanted to use them all together. They could be worn with just about anything. And then I have some 4mm, 5mm spacers and some little 3mm spacers from my own stash. That's what those are. I have this really pretty medallion that I had in my own stash in pendant pieces, so I'm going to use that. And then I have this chunky kind of chain. Now, I got this at the Intergalactic Bead Jewelry Show, which thankfully is coming to Jacksonville next week, so I'm going back to it because I'm about out of this chain. But I think you could go on Amazon probably and type in chunky chain for jewelry making and find some like this. So that's the chain that I'm going to be using some of that. And then I've got 3 different sizes of this. I just call this fancy chain. It's just a, there you go, that kind of a link chain. And I've got 3 different sizes of it. We're going to be using that for part of the tassel. I've got a noodle for making barrel knots, I've got some jump rings, and I have my leather. And I get all of my leather from Antique Cord, and I really do like them. They ship quickly, and the leather is really nice quality. So they're on Etsy. You can look them up if you're interested in that. And I think besides your jewelry tools, you're going to need all your tools. That's all that you're going to need. So it's going to be a fairly easy necklace. And we're not even going to need a clasp. We're just going to do the over-the-head thing. So I have cut my piece of leather. Let me see how long this is. So we've got 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 and a half. So 16 and a half and 16 and a half. Let's see, 15 and 15 would be 30. 16 and 16 would be 32. So 33 inches right around in there, if I did my math correctly, which I may not have. I'm terrible with math, so if I didn't do it correctly, don't laugh at me. About 33 inches. And then we have our other piece here, and I'm just going to cut it into smaller pieces, but I'm not ready to do that yet. So what we're going to do first is we're going to make this part, the part that's we're going to wear over our head, okay? So I want a couple of links of this chain, and then I'm going to hook it to the leather. So this medallion is going to hang on this chain, then it's going to get hooked to the leather. And I want to do the chain circle, oval, circle, okay? So I'm going to take this piece off right here, and I'm probably actually going to use this jump ring to attach it onto here. So what I'm going to do is take this, put it right here, right on here like this for my one side, circle, oval, circle. And you do want to make sure that your chain's laying down correctly. So actually I'm just going to lay it there like that, and then I'm going to grab my other piece, which I will have to take this Marquise oval off of. Okay, and then I'll have circle, oval, circle, and can take this part off. Okay, so let's lay all that aside. So here's what we've got. Now, I'm going to attach this to the single jump ring, and I want to make sure that it's going to lay right. So I'm laying it out there and putting it on and closing it up, making sure that it lays correctly, and this jump ring is closed up really good. Okay, and it's not going to hang correctly, is it? Nope, it's not, because of the jump ring. So I'm going to have to do it a little bit different, which is fine. We'll do this. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to close it up with one of my pieces attached, just like that. And then I'm going to take my other jump ring and I'm going to put it in the hole. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, and that should make it hang correctly. A lot of times I have to actually put it on and hold it up and look at it to know how it's, you know, it's just something with me. I'm not able to envision it for some reason. I have to literally put it on here, hold it up, and then be like, okay, that's going to work. All right, so that is going to work. So there we have that. Now we're going to take our long piece of leather here, and we are going to make a barrel knot. So we're going to take it and put it through this piece of chain and come up. I'm going to come up about, I don't know, what is that, 4 inches. I'm going to go a little bit less, probably about 3 to 4 inches there, okay? I'm just doubling it around that, or looping it around that. I'm going to take my noodle bead and stick it right here in the middle of those 2 pieces of leather. And then I'm going to take this tail piece and I'm going to wrap around 1, 2, and I'm wrapping down the noodle bead. 3, 4, I maybe have to get a little bit longer. Let me get it just a tad bit longer here. I'm really bad at judging that as well, so I have to kind of play around with it. But yeah, I would do about 4 to 5 inches on that then, and then wrap it. So 1, 2, going down the noodle, 3, 4. I like to go around 4 or 5 times. So I've gone around like 4.5 times. I'm going to take my piece of leather here, my tail piece, go up through this noodle, which is going to put us up through the barrel when we pull the noodle. And I'm trying to be really careful that I get it up through there because I have a small piece left there. And there's our little barrel. And then you just take it and you want to very gently work it down to where you want it to go. Okay? Pulling this side and that side. And see, I had too much left over there, but that's okay. I would rather have too much than not enough. Okay, and there we have our little barrel knot. And I am no expert at barrel knots, but I'm getting better at them the more that I do them. So I'm just pulling it tight, and then I'm just going to trim off this little piece right here. Actually, you know what? I might tie an overhand knot. I think that would look kind of cool. Let's do that. Would that look cool at the top of the barrel? I like to play around sometimes too. There we go, and broke my leather. No, that doesn't look cool at the top of the barrel. Let's go ahead and take that back out and just have our barrel. There we go, we're good. Okay, gonna trim that off. And there's our little barrel knot on one side. So we're gonna do the same thing on the other side, going up and through. And again, I'm gonna try to make sure I have enough here. So about 4 to 5 inches. Lay my noodle there. And then I always have to turn everything this way to wrap for some reason. And then we're going to wrap around 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm running out of leather, so I'm going to have to start going up through my noodle. And there we go, right up through the middle. Let's get this down. Making sure that's still in there. And you can take your pliers if you need help, because like I said, I'm no expert at barrel knots. You can take your pliers if you need help and kind of shove it up in there. And that's what I'm going to do, because I had a really short piece there on the end. So right up through. And then hopefully it will come out the top, and mine didn't. So this is what you do. when you're not good at making barrel knots. So watch me struggle on camera for a minute. I can do them, it's just I'm not the greatest. All right, let's do it again. Laying that in there, okay. And I have watched Kelly from Kelly's Bead Boutique is the best barrel knot maker that I've ever seen, and I have watched her over and over and over, and I'm still not the best at it, but she is great at teaching it. So if you really want to learn barrel knots, you probably ought to be watching her. She's really good at them. Okay, so now we're going to try this again. Go back up through our noodle, pull it up through. There we go. That time we got it. And here's this little barrel. Didn't turn out so great, but he's okay. There we go. He's all right. And we're just going to tighten him down. And I try to get it about the same length as the other one there. But yeah, watch Kelly. Kelly's Bead Boutique. She makes awesome barrel knots. I gotta say, I envy her barrel knot making ability. There we go. That's close enough for me. We're gonna cut this guy off. Okay. So there we have it. Now this will go right over your head. And it's really, really pretty. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna make our tassels. So I'm gonna take this piece right here of chain, because I don't want my tassel to hang directly in front of my medallion. I kind of want my medallion to show and be really pretty. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to go right through both of these jump rings right here on the front. Okay, close this up. And there we have it. There we go. So he's going to hang right there. Now, we're going to hook a bunch of chain and tassel pieces on to this. So, the chain, you can just vary however you want it, you know, the length that you want it to be. The tassel pieces, I am going to take and I'm going to fold them in half and loop them through. So, I want some of them to be longer than the others. So the first piece, let me get my ruler out here and see where we want to cut these. I'm going to cut my first piece about 7 inches. And I'll show you what I mean by, we're going to double it over, put the ends together, take it right here through our loop and make, this is called a lark's head knot, just like that. Okay? And we're going to do that with all of the leather that I have left here. But like I said, that is probably the longest piece that I want to have. So then every piece from there, I'm going to, you know, vary the lengths. We're going to do 5.5 for this one. And again, put your ends together. Take this up and through and down. So there's the next one. Then I'm going to do, I'll do 6 inches on this one. So 7 inches was our longest one. Oops, I did that one backwards. I try to keep them all the same direction. So, which means taking my loop through here. No, I've got to make sure that it goes this way. So I'm taking my 2 ends through the top and then going through my loop. Yes, that's how I want it to lay. You can do it the other way. You can do them both ways if you want, but I want mine to all kind of be the same on here. Okay, so I have the 7-inch one, 5.5, 6. I'm going to do another 5.5. And I'm going to go on this side of the 7-inch one, okay? And like I was doing it, I was doubling it and taking my 2 pieces up through the ring first, and then down through my loop. Yep, just like that. Then I'm going to do another 6-inch one on this side. So my 7-inch one is the longest one. It's in the very middle, and then I have a 5.5-inch one on each side of the 7-inch one, and then a 6-inch one on each side of the 5.5-inch one. You don't have to do it that way. You can do it however you want, but I think it's kind of cute. I just like the way it's going to hang here. Okay, so there's all of that, and I'm scrunching them together. Now I have one piece left. How long is this piece? This is actually a 7.5-inch piece. I'm going to go ahead and trim it to 7, and I'm just going to put it right beside the other 7-inch one. So we have two kind of long ones in the middle. This is the last I have of this piece of leather, so I just want to go ahead and use it and not waste it or not have it hanging out. It's too small really to use in any other project. So we'll just do this. Okay. So we've got all of our little knots. Now, I am going to attach some of the chain. And the chain I'm just going to hang with jump rings in between these leather pieces. So, actually, well, these jump rings will be okay. I was going to say I needed smaller jump rings, but I don't think I do. So the chain, I'm going to cut, let's do, so that piece is 2.5 inches. Let's do another one about that length. I'm going to do about 4 of them in this approximately 2.5-inch length. It doesn't have to be exact. These are all just going to kind of hang in here with the leather. Okay, so I've got those 4. I'm going to grab my other chains here. I had 3 different types of this chain. And I'm going to do about, see, what do I want to cut on these? Probably about 3 inches on these, because it's a little bit smaller length chain. So I'm going to do 2 pieces that are 3 inches. And then I think I'll do 2 pieces that are about, do I want to do, I don't know if I want to go shorter than that. So let's take our 2 3-inch pieces. Take a jump ring, just going to hook this guy on here, and I'm going to hang him right in here between, close to the 7-inch pieces. Now this does not have to be exact in any way. These chains are just, I mean, when we get the beads on and everything, it's all just going to kind of blend. So you can do this however you want. This is just how I choose to do it. But it's totally your own creative control here. You know, this is just a guide. So I'm just going on either side of my 2 longest pieces right here. And these jump rings are kind of big, so these may float a little bit, the chains may, and that's fine if they do. I don't really mind that. It's okay. I'm not going to put a ton of chains on here. I just want to have enough to kind of give it a little sparkle, and, you know, there's a lot of metal up here, so I want to try to pull some of it down into this. So now I'm going to take a couple of these other pieces, these little smaller ones, and I'm going to go ahead and just put them on out here a little closer to the edges. One more out here. So I'm doing them between the first and second little leather pieces. Okay. Pull everything back down to the middle. And yeah, I like that. That's kind of cute. I might do a couple pieces of chain up here on the ends, and if I do, I'll have to make them a little bit shorter, but they'll probably need to go on with smaller jump rings because these jump rings are just kind of floating around. And as much as I'm okay with that, with the bigger pieces, if I put some smaller ones on the edges, they're probably going to need to stay where they are. So let's take a look. Get everything together. There's what we've got so far, which is good. Now, I'm going to hang some of my beads on, and then I may add more chain. So here's our beads. And the way that I'm going to do these beads is super simple. I'm just going to tie them on, okay? So I'm going to take one of my silver beads and put it on. And if you have trouble getting your leather through the bead, I did make sure that all of these would fit, but if you have trouble getting your leather through there, you can cut the leather at an angle. Okay, so I'm going to come up here. I'm going to make a very small overhand knot up as close to this bead as I can get it, because I probably am going to add another one on. I want this to have a lot of the beads on, so there that is. Now this second one I'm not going to put, I'm actually going to go for a different shade of bead here. I'm not going to put a metal bead. I'm just going to do the little bead here. And I would like to be able to get my leather through a couple of these without having to cut it, but I may not be able to. I may have to cut it to a point. Let's see if it'll go through this one. Yeah, it's going to go through that one. Okay, and then I'm just going to make a knot here at the bottom. Way down here at the bottom. Okay, now I'm not going to tie 2 beads on every strand, but you know, I just want to vary this. Like this next one, I want to put one about right here. So for this one, I'm just going to pick a bead, and I'm again trying to find ones that will fit through the holes without me having to cut the leather, but that's not gonna, this leather is kind of blunt there. I'm gonna have to cut it. Okay, that might help. Let's try this guy. There we go. I'm going to go about to the middle here, and I'm going to do him and then a metal bead. And for him to hang there, I need to tie my knot right about here. And again, you know, we're just working with approximate here. You don't have to have it exact, but there we go. So that's looking cute. Okay. Now, I'm just going to continue on through here. I'm just going to put my beads, each leather piece, I'm going to put either 1 or 2 beads on. And so go ahead and do yours and then come on back. Okay, so here's what we've got. And I found that when I tied my beads on, it made my leather shorter, obviously. So I need to trim some of these chains up because they're just too long. So I'm just going to trim them to where they're not much longer than the leather here. And then I do want to put a couple chains on the end, but I love how this is turning out. I think it's so pretty. So I am going to hang a couple pieces out here, and I'm just going to use the same jump rings that I've been using because they seem to be working fine. I don't think it's going to be a problem. So I'm going to hang one out here. Close that up real good. And I'm going to hang one on the outside over here as well. Just a shorter one. Probably need to trim it up a little. And again, it's just your own creative control, whatever you want to do. Okay. So I'm liking that pretty well, actually. These beads are so cute. I may stick something on the end right there if I can. Just a single, let me see, because that end looked like it's kind of poking out weird, so let me see what it would, if I can even get a knot in that. And I didn't mention, I don't think, I should have, but this is 0.5 millimeter leather. You do need a small, you know, you don't want your leather to be real big or it's going to be hard to tie in little knots. So this is 0.5 millimeters and it's pretty perfect for this. And it's a little difficult sometimes, but usually I can get the small knots in it even if I have to use my pliers to help me. Which I may have to right here, but I really want this knot on the end, I think, with this silver bead. Maybe. I mean, I may not be able to get it, but I might. So I'm going to try. And it may not work, I don't know. I could use a needle and try to poke it through. I'm outside and don't really have a lot of supplies with me out here, but there, I think I got it. Yep. Now see, if you had a thicker millimeter leather, there is no way that you would be able to do that. So you need to have a thinner leather. But I'm really, really liking the way this is turning out. It is so pretty. I love all the colors. And the chain, I think, just really adds to it. It's super cute. So I don't think that there is anything else that I need to do to it. I have a few of these beads left. And I debated maybe hanging one up here. And you know, that might look kind of cute to hang a dangle one up in there, which we could do on a jump ring. So I would need to get a ball, I mean, not a jump ring, but a ball head pin. So let me grab a couple ball head pins. I think that would look really cute. Okay, so I've got a couple ball head pins. I'm just going to put these on it, and they do stay. And I'm going to make a very small wrapped loop. You don't want your loop to be very big at all on this because it has to dangle right there in that little area. So I'm going to go up and over, rotate this up, come under, and a very, very small wrapped loop here. Okay, trim that up. Straighten my loop up a little bit. Sorry, I was off camera there. Just tucking in the little part there so it doesn't snag. There we go. And then I'm going to take a very small jump ring, one of the smallest that I can find in my drawer here, probably a little 4 millimeter here. And what you want to do is you want to hang the jump ring from the leather piece here, not from the metal piece, not from the ring. Because if you hang it from the ring, it's going to slide. You want it to dangle right here. So you're just going to hang it. Whoops. This jump ring is very strong. I'm trying to get it closed, and it is not wanting to close for me. There we go. So you want to hang it right from that leather piece, and then it'll dangle right in there. So let's make another one. I think that's kind of cute. It just brings the color up into the piece and kind of makes it all cohesive. again, I'm making those little loops as tiny as I can. That one is really tiny. Having trouble even holding on to it to wrap with the wire. But that's good, because that way it's not going to show all of the, you know, it just is going to hang well there and won't be in the way, that loop. Okay, so again, a very small jump ring, 4mm here. Gonna just dangle this guy right from that leather piece, from the leather loop there, and close it up. Okay, so that, oh, that's cute. That does add something to it. So let me put this on and I will show you how it hangs on me. Okay, so here's how it hangs. And I really, really do like this one. I think it's super cute. Very boho, very colorful. Let's see if I can get it up close a little. It's hard to get on camera with this. There we go. Whoops, sorry. So there it is. I love it. Leather, chain, colored beads, beautiful glass. What more can you want, right? So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please like it and subscribe to my channel and check out Sam's bead box. His bead boxes are always super, super nice. And I have a coupon code for $5 off your first box. It is just Wendy, and I will link everything in the description box below this video. But yeah, I like this one. Turned out great. So I'm going to get off here, film some more videos, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.